Yo, what up, YouTube? What's poppin'? What's poppin'? This Pacslifetv back with another awesome video. But before we get into it, hit the like and subscribe. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you don't miss any Pacslifetv content. From coast to coast, one love, one nation. Let's get into it.
Was removed and my channel was receiving a copyright strike. I opened up the email and what I saw baffled me. My video was taken down due to Tupac's last photo of him and Suge in the car together that millions of others have used freely. Even more interesting is that my takedown notice stated a person by the name of Leonard Jefferson filed the copyright strike. I had no idea who that person was, but after researching, I found out it was actually the person who took the photo long ago. In my opinion, this just further proves they don't want you guys to know the truth. They knew.
Let's start right here. I don't know who this guy's name is, so we'll use Truth. We'll call him Truth. Truth claims his video was taken down because they don't want us to know the truth about Tupac. Okay, so we all know YouTube has rules and regulations known as the YouTube policy. Now, we all know copyrighted material can be given a strike by the main source of the material at any given time based on the sound reasoning, like the way the material has been used. So let's stop lying to the people. This is not rocket science. Leonard Jefferson probably copyrighted striked your video because he doesn't like the way you used his material. In this case, the photo. Or perhaps he realized he's not benefiting from his photo. And now that we got that on the way, let's move right along.
Knew what I said regarding Tupac was the truth. They went as far as taking down a 9-day-old video with a bogus copyright claim. I am protected by the Federal Fair Use Act, which allows me to critique and give my opinion on any copyrighted material. What I revealed wasn't supposed to be said. This is why it was taken down. They know that to this day, Tupac has his fans manipulated. I saw a lot of people stating that I was reaching or that I was wrong about Tupac. I want you guys to understand. I myself hope these guys aren't puppets. I grew up listening to Tupac myself, but the truth is the truth.
So Truth further says, the truth is the truth, which I believe is his catchphrase just to lure people to watch his content. I mean, he barely has evidence to support his claims in this particular video. But let's move on.
Most of Tupac's story was fabricated to sell records and push an agenda. Tupac claimed to be a Cali rapper.
Tupac's life wasn't fabricated, as we have learned from his upbringing from his mother, Afeni, and other close relatives and friends. Tupac never claimed to be a Cali rapper, as we all know Tupac is from New York and his first rap moniker was MC New York. Truth, you are the agenda misinforming people. You are the agenda misinforming people. Check this out.
City was before.
Marin City? Okay.
Then also.
Well, you left Baltimore and came to Marin City.
Yes.
And when you were in Baltimore, you were in School of the Performing Arts.
Yes.
How come you didn't enroll in one when you came to California?
I couldn't find one when I came to California, and I was broke, so I had to go to a regular high school.
We move right along. Bear in mind of the supporting evidence.
When he was born in New York and then lived in Baltimore. He didn't even get to LA until he was a little over 17 years old. Just 3 years later, he was touring with Digital Underground as a roadie and a backup dancer. Tupac was not a gangster. He was acting as a gangster. Tupac...
Yo, let's get something clear. What is gangster? We got two types. First is the gangster that rob, kill, steal, extort, etc. Second, we got gangster that take care of family, business, friends, and a nigga that makes sure the community is safe and stands up for his own and ground. That's gangster.
It was just always violence every time I saw him. So one time I was in Harlem and I seen him, back in the days they used to sell bootleg tapes to Africans. So one time I was in Harlem, seen him beating up all the African bootleg guys. He was walking with boxes of apocalypse style, yo, this is my shit, this. I seen him fight this African dude try to pull out a sword. And I seen Tupac take the sword off him. When I met him, I didn't know who he was. He had a red bandana with two guns in his hand. It's me and Wu-Tang freestyling in Atlanta. He was like, yo, what's up, crack? And I was like, yo, what's up? And I really ain't know who it was. He's like, yo, it's me, Pop. Call the band.
Anybody that can stand their ground is gangster. Tupac was gangster. Everybody that grew up tough in the hood will have that aspect of tough because it's tough in the hood. Any situation can or will change a person. Tupac was bullied for his name, clothing, and living conditions. His friends had to stand up for him until he was like, fuck this, I'm gonna stand up for my own ground. Ain't that gangster?
3 years later, he was touring with Digital Underground as a roadie and a backup dancer. Tupac was not a gangster. He was acting as a gangster.
Tupac, we're doing a college show somewhere in the West Coast, and Digital Underground, he was still with them. We get to the sound check late, so the sound man was kind of turning off the equipment and was like, y'all kind of missed y'all window for the sound check. Pac goes to the sound man, because he hears the sound man trying to tell us we ain't getting the sound check today. We late. Tupac start choking this motherfucker. You're not going to disrespect motherfucking leaders of the new school, motherfuckers that turn this shit on.
Tupac wasn't used to push the rap agenda. Tupac was a talented individual who happened to be gangster. People like giving away people's credibility just to support their statements with no evidence.
Tupac was an actor who was used to push the gangster rap agenda, manipulating the minds of millions, guiding them to live a destructive life, all while the record labels made hundreds of millions.
America is a destructive country on its own. Come on, yo. How do you think Tupac started Thug Life? Why did he start Thug Life? America is Thug Life. The hate you give little infants fucks everyone. Tupac was no gangster, but a nightmare to the American government. The general had them feds follow him and his family for being revolutionary. Pac was more than a gangster. He was a soldier. Show us proof, truth. Where's the proof that Tupac was acting gangster? Come on. Tupac was a bona fide platinum artist before he got to death row. And he was still gangster with his shit.
Even Tupac's ex-girlfriend claims that Tupac told her he signed the soul away when he signed to Suge.
That's bullshit, truth. Signing with Suge was the best shot he had to come out of jail. In Suge's own words, 1995 interview, Suge said Interscope is trying to make Tupac look soft by making him wear glasses. Why I say that? Because the thought of it didn't match Tupac's character. I believe Tupac understood contracts. But signing a handwritten contract and handshake is definitely signing with the devil because you don't know the hidden clauses that follow. Tupac was in jail for something he didn't do. He either had to sign the contract or would stay in prison for the next 4 or more years for a crime he didn't do. For a man like the general, there was no honor in being behind bars. I mean, when he could be doing record-breaking music and movies. Get out of here.
I was there when, Suge came and he signed his contract. The lawyer came and they spoke, and he knew that he was going to be getting that appeal. So he knew that he was going to be getting that appeal, and he was going to be getting out. And I knew as well. I was there.
What was his feelings about Suge Knight?
I think he liked him. He felt that was a power move.
Yes, Tupac knew he was getting out because his ex-wife Keisha Morris, Shakur, was holding Tupac down throughout the whole negotiations with Suge and Interscope. Don't lie to the people, truth. Suge Knight always wanted Tupac even way longer when he was still, way long back, when he was still with Interscope. They have always been good friends even way before death row.
To align himself with him and but he did make a comment one time, like, he's signing his soul to the devil to take care of his family.
That is because he didn't sell out. Why do y'all think Tupac don't got a Grammy, y'all? Tupac was a rebel in the industry. You couldn't control him. And he was not the only rapper that's against the Illuminati, quote unquote, as you love saying, being against.
Part of it. You understand? They were asked to be a part of it. And I know people is going to get mad at me if I say that. You know what I'm saying? But I believe Tupac was asked to be a part of it. Okay. And he was going to be a part of it. Then he turned it down.
He changed his mind. Okay, gotcha.
You understand? But he went to a certain stage of it. Then he changed his mind. If you listen to some of the language he said, okay, and some of the things he said, you'll see that, okay, all right. Because he had made reference to somebody who was real big in the industry, wanted him to have sex with them. You know what I'm saying?
Jones, yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So then, why would you go to that part? Then he did a Don Chappelle
if you got intellectuals, if you got some. So he was going through the process. Right. Gotcha. Didn't really know what he was getting into.
And then when he caught himself,
yeah,
he tried to get out.
He tried to get out, and then that was his demise. I got you.
Because they're either going to get you, if they don't Princess Diane you, you understand? They're going to make you so poor that you want to do something to yourself.
For the devil to take care of his family, because, you know, I guess if he wasn't in that predicament, maybe he would not have went.
As you heard for yourself, Tupac admitted this to his own ex-girlfriend. Now, the rest of this video is going to be the original Tupac video, and I would truly appreciate it if those that watch it, rewatch it, and share it. The information on this video is important, and it can help people see the truth. In the 90s, Tupac was one of the most popular rappers in the world. His music was loved by millions upon millions of his fans. His rebellious but lovable attitude got him the praise he needed to be a rap superstar. Tupac, to this day, is considered to be one of the greatest rappers to have ever lived. We already know, for an artist to reach the level Tupac reached in the music industry, they must pay the ultimate price. To many, this doesn't seem like what happened with Tupac. People felt that he never sold out, as they saw him as one of the only rappers who was against the Illuminati. So then how exactly did Tupac become such a mega star, and was he ever truly against the industry? As much as it appeared that Tupac was against the Masonic Order with his Illuminati album, this just isn't true. After researching Tupac for months to make this video, I was able to find proof that points to Tupac selling his soul and becoming a Masonic puppet, as he admits this himself. I do believe at one point, Tupac might have no longer wanted to serve the Masonic agenda, like we have seen many artists do after him. Tupac's career took off in the 90s during the beginning of the gangster rap era. The gangster rap era had just become mainstream after NWA made gangster rap popular. This meant that the record labels were only looking for rappers that were making gangster rap music. Tupac embodied the entire gangster rap image. He went as far as tattooing Thug Life on his stomach. But was Tupac really a thug?
Yes, Tupac was pretty much a violent individual if you got on the wrong side of him. Check this out.
They didn't know was, and tighten the Pac up, and if you come to bring some, you're going to get some. That's what I like about that little nigga.
Why is that so hard to believe? A lot of people that grew up in the hood know how to fight. Why is it so hard to believe with the general? Black Panther military-minded general. Don't fuck around, Truth. You're reaching, bro.
The thing is, a lot of Tupac's story seems to be created to fit his gangster rap persona. Tupac, in a few ways, is like Drake. For example, Tupac was one of the greatest of his time. Drake is also considered one of the greatest of his time. Tupac rapped about being a thug, even though he wasn't, and Drake sometimes does the same exact thing. Tupac was an actor before a rapper, and so was Drake. It's clear to me that Tupac's entire image was fabricated by the record labels. Tupac was never a thug. He was a theater student who even did ballet.
Don't ever compare Drake and Tupac. Drake will never be as lovable, charismatic, multi-talented, passionate, and revolutionary like Tupac. I don't even care what the numbers say, but Drake music ain't Tupac's level. Quit the disrespect, Truth. Drake ain't even the greatest of his time. What you talking about? And let's get this clear. I'm sure a lot would agree with me. Tupac is the greatest rapper of all time, and only his time, in our time, and the next life too.
I auditioned for the Baltimore School of Performing Arts. I started to have it a lot of times. I spent 3 years in Baltimore, my high school years. I made a lot of friends, like John Cole and Jada Pinkett. I loved my classes. We were exposed to everything, theater, ballet.
As you heard for yourself, Tupac admits to being a theater student and staying away from trouble. In one of his high school interviews when he was 17, we hear Tupac speaking on his life, and he sounds nothing like the thug he claims to be.
Okay, my name is Tupac Shakur, and I attend Tamalpais High School at 17 years old.
Do you like 17?
And it's like 17 is such a weird age. It's such in the middle age. You're not 18 yet, and you're older than 16s. But I like it. It's nice. It's like a learning stage for me.
As you heard for yourself, Tupac sounds like a good kid who seems to have stayed out of trouble and participated in theater for most of his childhood.
Truth, you are lying. You are lying, bro. Don't lie to the people like that. This is absolutely clickbait. In all honesty, I've seen better Tupac conspiracy theories in terms of supporting evidence. Tupac started rapping long before he could act. I mean, at the end of the day, that's the purpose of an art school, right? To teach art. Go back and do your research, bro. Truth. A thug means violent individual. Tupac was a violent individual, but he wasn't stupid or ignorant.
They didn't know was, and tighten the Pac up. If you come to bring some, you're gonna get some. That's what I like about that little nigga.
Tupac never denied being a theater student. What is wrong with this twisted world? Tupac did exactly what was supposed to be done at the School of Arts. He did acting, poetry, ballet. So how does that define a person's character? Tupac got changed by the world. Everyone changes the world or will get changed by the world. What's wrong with being a well-mannered human being? You were not there to speak on Tupac's teenage years, nor is there any supporting evidence to say he was not a bad boy.
Acting like a thug to sell records. Even fellow actor Marlon Wayans stated this in an interview.
You had a special relationship with Tupac. Talk about that.
And me and Pac had a great relationship. You know what's great about Pac? Everybody think he was like this thug, this gangster. He's a performer, not this high school kid. Okay? Pac was very smart. He was very silly. He was a clown. And he wasn't a real gangster, but he act gangster. And he's method actor. So he went a little bit too far. He overcommitted. But Telly wasn't a gangster because he had the softest hands you ever wanted to like touch on a man. Like no has hands like this hard. No, it was like I call him a Pop Olive thug. You put it, come here, just give me this gentle hand. It was soft. Then he had these long eyelashes, looked like Snuffleupagus. Just like, none of this. I'm a dog. Sold the roll though. He did. He sold that juice. And
As you heard for yourself, Marlon Wayans states that Tupac was just a good method actor who bought into his role.
Let's fix this one. Come on, if this is the truth, then this is the truth too.
I know all of Tupac.
You know every different Gemini Tupac.
Absolutely.
Hey man, he had a Gemini. I'm married to a Gemini. I'm offended.
He wasn't phony with anything. That was Tupac.
That was his. Whatever he.
Tupac was all
those variations. Right.
He was extremely funny. Mm-hmm. He was very smart. Like he knows what trajectory actually means. I don't. Right. He was a great rapper, a gangster, a poet,
an activist.
An activist. Tupac Shakur was all of those things. And he was a friend. He was a cool dude. And through his uprising, through his success, every time he see me, he always, whether he be on the MTV line, always came over, always gave me love because he always connected. And I respect where he went. I saw him 20 minutes before he passed, me and Omar.
In my opinion, I believe Tupac knew that if he wanted to sell records and be popular, he would have to embody the gangster rap image. The record labels used Tupac to push the gangster rap agenda to his fans. Tupac was such a good actor that he managed to fool the world and even himself into believing that he really was a thug, when in reality, he was a theater student at heart.
Tupac already embodied the image. He didn't even like the way he was portrayed in the media. Remember the ex-Navy that killed a cop because of a Tupac record? Need I say more? That was in Pac's early career before he was even a global figure. So let's move on.
Tupac sold his soul in order to be a superstar. This is how he was able to grow to superstardom. The record labels in the 90s and the 2000s were pushing the gangster rap agenda heavily. Just about every rapper was rapping as a gangster rapper, whether they were gangster or not.
Tupac never labeled his music as gangster rap. Check out this video.
Mr. Shakur, I'm Scott Rappaport from Inside Edition. I'd like to talk to you about the gangster rap controversy from that. I'm not a gangster rapper.
This man said it in his own words.
This influenced an entire generation of people to live thug lives.
Tupac did not create thug life. He diagnosed it.
Falling for the exact trap that the elite created for them. Tupac knew he was playing a role in the destruction of his own people, but he wanted the fame and money. Tupac himself knew he sold his soul. He actually admitted it in 2 different occasions. In the song Good Life, Tupac openly admits to selling his soul for his success. In the song he raps, was so money-oriented, initiated as a thug, fiending for wicked adventures, ambitious as I was. Picture me on the verge of living insane. I sold my soul for a chance to kick it and bang. Now tell me if I'm wrong, but saying F the world got you deeper in my songs. Openly, Tupac admits to not only selling his soul, but being initiated as a thug, which I interpreted as Pac admitting to being marketed as a thug after taking his deal. Tupac admits to being a studio gangster. He admits to selling out to push the gangster rap agenda. We can see that Tupac had no issues openly admitting that he sold his soul. And this isn't the only time either, as he did it again in another song by a rapper Scarface he's featured on called Smile. In the song Smile, Tupac raps, "Selling my soul for material wishes, fast cars and women, wishing I lived my life a legend, immortalized in pictures, why shed tears, save your sympathy." Again, Tupac admits that he sold his soul to have the world. Tupac wasn't innocent. He knew he was pushing an agenda, and he was okay with it as long as he got what he wanted.
And different things. And a lot of things I can't do. I can't play basketball like every other black person in America. But I can act. I know how to go to that true spot in myself because I'm there every day. I can be me. I can be whoever because I'm true to me. I can go to neutral easily. A lot of people, black, white, Mexican, young or old, fat or skinny, have a problem being true to themselves. They have a problem looking in the mirror and looking directly into their own souls. The reason I sell 6 million records, the reason I could go to jail and come out without a scratch, the reason I can walk around, the reason I am who I am today is because I can look directly into my face and find my soul. It's there. It's not sold. I didn't sell it. It's still within me. I still feel it. My heart is still connected to my body.
Seems to me that you only took that part of Pac's life and tried to sum up all Pac's life with the 11 months he only spent on death row. Bro, you're reaching and trying to convince us to, you're just trying to convince us to believe this whole context. It doesn't make sense. Tupac didn't believe the Illuminati existed. He only heard about the Illuminati while he was in prison in 1995. Anybody can go out of character. It's what we call life lessons. Everyone fucks up and learns. Or not. Selling your soul is a figure of speech, truth. Selling your soul is the figure of speech. People, you need to be careful when listening to these kind of conspiracies. Don't let these things you need to listen.
Like he said, he traded his everlasting soul to be immortalized. He wanted the world, and this is exactly what he got. He is now remembered as a rap legend, but was it truly worth it?
Yes, it was all worth it. Tupac reported to the world of who Uncle Sam really is. He exposed the harsh realities of Black America.
In this photo here, we see Tupac showing the famous bathtub rebirth scene. Even though he isn't in a bath of blood, he is in a bath of gold. This photo represents his satanic rebirth, selling his soul for endless riches, giving in to his materialism.
As we all don't have evidence to this, Tupac wasn't aware possibly of the things he was doing. But I believe that as soon as he realized things were getting out of hand, he became rebellious.
Many people point to his Illuminati album as proof that Pac was against the Masonic order.
When you're against something, it means you believe it exists. Tupac did not believe the Illuminati existed. Tupac said in his own mouth about the album Illuminati was to kill the whole idea of Illuminati existing. Here's evidence to what I'm saying.
My strength, my mind strength. That's what's more important to me now. The niggas see that there's not no accident. I plotted every single step from this to this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like you said, the next is called Illuminati, because that's the reason what the Illuminati is on.
That's why I put the K to it. Right? The niggas is telling me about this Illuminati shit while I'm in jail. Right? Like, let's go. Right. That's another way to keep you unconfident. Right. And I'm putting the K because I'm killing that Illuminati shit. Trust me. If these motherfuckers wanted to kill you, why the fuck they gonna tell Farrakhan? Why they gonna tell the Nation of Islam? Why they gonna tell this nigga in jail about the plan? How did he know? How did it leak to him? Who told him? Who told him? The Pope? Who? Because they like the Pope and the money. Oh, come on, man. You so thinking about the money, you're not getting the motherfucking money. Get the money, nigga. I don't give a fuck who face on there.
You know what I thought when I was in jail? What fucked me up, what turned me like this, is I was like, no politicians is even getting at us. Even though I represent 5 million fucking fans, and no politicians is even checking for us. They're not even thinking of it. And in business, you know, if you want to fuck with somebody, you know, each other, they're not even looking at us like, right. But by the next election, I promise. By the next election, I promise, I'm gonna be sitting across from all the candidates. I bet you. You know how I'll be making it? I promise you. I'm not even gonna be. I'm gonna be so far from where I am now in 4 years. God willing, I'm alive. I guarantee you, we will have our own political party. And it won't be just for black people. It's going to be for Mexicans, my lab. It's for Mexicans. It's going to be for black people. It's going to be for Armenians. I don't give a fuck. All you lost tribe motherfuckers right now, we need to have our own political party because we all have the same motherfucking problem. Build this nation.
The thing is, Tupac had already taken the oath. It appears to me that Tupac was just again playing a character he was instructed to play. The Masons love duality. This means they love playing the villain and the hero, but it all still represents the same agenda. Even the album cover for his Illuminati album is blasphemous. On the album cover, it states that in no way was his album cover trying to disrespect Jesus. The thing is, that's like getting caught stealing and saying that you were in no way trying to steal. Tupac did what we have seen so many celebrities do to this day, mock Jesus' sacrifice for our sins. We are still seeing this type of imagery coming from the entertainment industry, as just recently Kendrick painted himself as a Christ-like figure for one of his performances.
That is straight up bullshit. I don't mean to be racist, but why isn't it mocking Jesus when it's white Jesus on the cross? I'm not going to tap into religion right now.
I am not going to deny that at first it did look like what happened to Tupac could have been a result of him trying to break his oath and leave the industry behind, especially with the imagery his Illuminati album was showing. The album cover clearly predicts Tupac being sacrificed as if he were Jesus.
The general believed he took shots and L's for his people, and he did, just like Christ. But we're not comparing. I'm just saying he did take shots and L's for his people. How is that mockery? Leaders are always sacrificed. Malcolm X died for his people. Mandela sacrificed 27 years of his life for his people. Martin Luther King died for his people. Like I said, I'm not going to tap into religion. This is Pacslifetv.
The thing is, Tupac's passing seemed to actually be a result of unnecessary street beef. Like I said earlier, Tupac was a method actor who went too far. The night that Tupac passed was one of those days that he went too far. A little altercation where Pac wanted to prove his gangster seems to be what cost him everything. The main reason I don't believe Pac was taken out by the Masonic Order was because Suge Knight was in the car next to Pac. Unless those in charge wanted Tupac and Suge Knight gone, it wouldn't make sense to come after Pac while Suge was in the car. What happened to Pac seems to be 100% street beef. If the Masons wanted both Suge and Tupac gone, then Suge would have eventually shared the same fate as Tupac. In my opinion, both Tupac and Suge were Masonic puppets who were making the labels tons of money and were aligned with the agenda. I simply do not see any real evidence that the Masonic Order would have wanted them out of the way. If Pac would have never tried to prove he was a thug, he would most likely still be here, pushing their Masonic agenda. Some of Pac's songs appear to be spreading a positive message, like his song Changes, but I don't think he was truly against the agenda.
How is a song talking about changes having a gangster agenda? Where is the destruction in the song? At least show us proof, you know.
As most of his music still heavily pushed the gangster agenda. In my opinion, Tupac was just a talented kid who wanted to make it in the entertainment industry. He was willing to sell his soul and be used to push the gangster agenda, influencing millions of kids in urban communities to follow a path of destruction. The Masons created these icons for the world to worship, and this is exactly what Tupac was, an icon.
Tupac wasn't an icon. Why speak in past tense? Tupac is and will forever be an icon, truth. History is written.
Because those in charge wanted to make sure he influenced as many people as possible. Tupac was forever immortalized by the labels to ensure his influence will last through generations. It is no coincidence he worked with Dr. Dre, as I already explained that Dr. Dre was also used to push the gangster rap agenda.
This is absolutely bogus. You're giving the Masons so much credit than they deserve. NWA, as we all know, is the first gangster rap group. And they were hard in their times. Why aren't they as immortalized as Tupac? Rap music wasn't even selling as much as R&B and pop music, meaning that the people consumed more of R. Kelly and Michael Jackson, but they aren't bigger than Tupac. The Masons are not gods. When people are tired of something, they won't consume it. You can't force me to eat expired food. I'll vomit. Get it? Yes, it's no coincidence. Which hip hop artists didn't want to use Dr. Dre's talents? Come on, let's be logical. I pick talent over conspiracy. Tupac was against the idea of such people existing. You can't be against something you don't believe exists.
Suge Knight also played a large role in pushing the gangster rap agenda to the masses. If you guys would like to see a full video on Suge Knight, comment Suge Knight below. As much as it appeared that Tupac was against the agenda, to me, it doesn't seem like the truth. Tupac took the oath like the rest of the superstars, and unfortunately for him, the image he was portraying cost him everything. Many people think that Tupac is still alive, and in my opinion, I doubt this. So many people are reporting sightings of Tupac, but I myself cannot find concrete evidence of this being true.
Yes, some people may think he's still alive because Suge Knight was smart with his marketing. Simple logic.
The labels have been pushing the gangster agenda for years, an agenda that is still destroying our people to this day. Like I always say, we must not allow these artists to manipulate our minds. When the music industry is pushing an artist like they were pushing Tupac, that should already be a big red flag, that the Masonic Order is behind them. Tupac was propped up by the industry and turned into a superstar for a reason.
Yo, this just absolutely, you just reaching truth. You just reaching, man.
This was done to be able to influence the minds of the masses. We must remember every day we wake up, our souls are at stake. And we also must remember to help those who can't see the truth, find the truth.
This will bring us to the end of our video. I hope you found this insightful and entertaining. Let's learn not to give strength to things that's trying to take power away from us or from God. Thank you for watching. One love, one nation, Pacslifetv.